Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Studio 78 podcast. I am your host, Nishay Snow. You can find the show notes for this page at NACHESNOW.com/37. Thank you for joining me for another episode. I've gotten really good feedback for the guests I've had on so far for season 2, and I'm excited to have a few more guests on before the end of the year, which is crazy. It's less than, I guess, like 45 days away or whatever. But it's just like kind of banana pants to me that I feel like I was just talking to you guys in season 1 when I first started this podcast about like figuring out what we wanted to do in 2017, and 2018 is like already here. So it's a little crazy to me. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about purpose and passion. If you haven't already, please head on over to iTunes or whatever your podcasting app of choice is and subscribe to the podcast. If you're a YouTube junkie, just go over there and search Studio 78 or Nishay Snow, and please subscribe to my channel. Not only on YouTube will you have like my podcast episodes, but you guys also know like I'm like a big time crafter and maker. So I'm going to also have like some of those videos on there too. And today's episode is actually a solo episode with just me. So I'm also like recording this in video versus just audio only, like I traditionally do for my podcast. So if you just want to see me, nothing fancy really, you can head on over to YouTube to see the face behind the voice. So the reason why I decided to do a solo cast today was because this is the week of Thanksgiving, and I always get the question like, how do you find like what your purpose is or what your passion in life is, and how do you go about discovering it if you don't know what it is already, or if you kind of know what it is, how do you, I guess, find other people with a similar passion to network with, or how do you figure out like what to do with it? But a lot of times people are really just looking for that first step of like really discovering what your purpose is or what your passion is, right? And I kind of really tie the two together. My thing is the key to purposefulness is discovering your passion. So once you discover like what your passion is, that will then give you purpose, because then you'll know what to do with it and how you will have impact within the world. So I just want to just talk briefly about that today. So this will be one of the shorter episodes, but I want to let you guys like know like how I do it. And if you guys remember in the episode with Bailey Hancock, we talked a little bit about being like multi-passionate, and that's definitely me, right? Like I always knew growing up that I liked making stuff, I liked art, I liked design. I didn't know exactly where that would take me, but through the years, I've tried to do a multitude of things that somehow relate to that. And some were off kind of like the beaten path, because I also like business and marketing and communication. So I've done like real estate. I've done like all kind of other random stuff that doesn't have anything to do with art and design, but still like doing all those different things have molded me and made me into who I am today, and has really helped kind of solidify like what my passion is and what my purpose is. So, essentially for me, my passion is, okay, like art and design and helping people discover like what their passion is. And really, when I look back at my life, like it's always been tied to those things. Like either I'm making, designing, helping people design, or I'm teaching people how to find what they love or start businesses or whatever that may be. But it all kind of ties around those things. And that's why like to put them all together, I started NashaeSnow.com, like, and then I can have all these other little things under my umbrella, right? And so with NashaeSnow.com, for example, I have the podcast because I love communication and talking to people, but also having a website keeps me connected with business and marketing. And I'm also able to help people because the things that I've learned through the years, I get to share, on my website and through my podcast. I'm helping to connect people. So through my podcast, not only have I connected with others, but other people have connected by listening to the podcast and then contacting other people. And so that's my thing too, is I'm a connector. And then, I have that passion for art and design. So really, I am talking to a lot of creative types, the traditional creative types and the untraditional, but also infused in there too. I love planning and making stuff. So even if you look at my Instagram at NashaeSnow.com, you'll see my bullet journal where, I'm sharing how I plan, and I'm hoping that people learn from that, learn how to get organized, learn how to really figure out what their daily lives look like in order to make space for whatever their passion might be it something very creative or not, right? And so it's a whole bunch of stuff, and it might not seem like it relates, but it really does. But when it comes down to it, I feel like my purpose in life is to like inspire others to find like their inner creativity, like however that might look, because I just get excitement and joy out of that. I mean, I love doing it. I love seeing people achieve success. So even if it's not something directly related to, let's say, the arts or graphic design, even if it's, let's say, just in marketing or business, like, I went to the fashionably fit launch party for Sade's podcast that I've been helping her with. And that to me was so fulfilling because I remember talking to her in January of this year about her idea and about her wanting to do it. And the fact that she's done it and she's like doing like amazing. And she's got like these videos now and professional photographers. I mean, like, I just know like she's going to go really far with that. But that gives me enjoyment. Like, so when I look at my life, like that is my purpose, is to do that. Like even with my nieces, especially one of my oldest nieces, Connie, like she's like a little mini me. And when she was here for 3 weeks, like we crafted and we did like hand lettering, and we made slime, and we did all of this. But I know that she is going to remember that time and us together making stuff and doing stuff. And my mom's also crafty too. And so my mom's influencing her too. But the things we do will then shape her as a person. Like I've talked to her about coding, and she was just on the phone with me the other day because my mom had called and she was in the background, and she was talking about how she was excited because she was learning how to program in school, right? So it's by seeing what I'm doing, by me influencing her and like my mom influencing her, it is shaping her into who she will become. And so when I look at my purpose, be it if it's a young mind or older mind, because I've also talked to women a lot older than me about pursuing their passion, like that is what I love to do. And so, yeah, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that today. See, I just got all excited, so I almost went totally off track. But you see how that gives me excitement? So my thing is when you're finding what your purpose is and finding the passion that will help you determine that purpose, it should be something that lights your fire. It should be something that you could talk all day about because you're just so excited about whatever it is you're doing. Like that is passion, right? You'll do it even if you don't get paid for it. You do it because you love it. You're willing to lose sleep for it. You're willing to go the extra mile for it. That is your passion, whatever that is that gives you that fire. So let's just talk about a few things to help you figure out how to even figure out what that passion is, or maybe you have some inkling of what it is, but you just don't, know like how to maybe niche it down. Because like for me, art and design is very wide. Like I could have gone anywhere with that, right? I'm trained in graphic design, so I could have gone into, and at one point in my life I was focusing on this, but really helping people specifically build websites or create printed material. And then that could have been my thing, like really designing pieces or websites for people and then zoning in on that. Right. And so I decided not to do that. And that's not my focus. I can help people with that, but my focus is a little bit more kind of broader in general. Right. And um, so everybody's love, you know, it is very broad. Like even, somebody can be like, well, my passion is sports, right? But you need to really figure out, what is it about sports? Is it a particular sport? You love playing basketball and you want to be a basketball coach, or you want to one day like play for a professional basketball league? Or is it that, you want to do a podcast on your favorite team, or you want to do a blog that kind of shares your thoughts on the sport, or you want to niche down even further and talk about women in basketball and how like maybe they're not covered as much as men, and like that's like your focus. So I just give those examples to say that you might have some idea what lights your fire, but I think what people really struggle with is what specifically they want to focus on. So here's some things to try. And this is for people who just don't know what the heck they want to do, and for people who are just like, I kind of know what I want to do, but I'm not sure like kind of what niche I want to focus on. So this is what I would suggest. Sign up for courses. I can't tell you, I've taken a multitude of courses over the years that range from different things. I've of course gone to school. I've gotten my undergrad and my graduate degree, right? But you don't have to do something like as expensive as that. I've taken classes at my local like an art school, like the Torpedo Factory, or like not art school, but it's like a local, art place that offers classes. And, I've taken ceramics there, I've taken painting, I've done charcoal, I've done all kind of stuff. And even I'm going to take a new class in January. But just doing that also kind of expands your horizon. So I'm talking art courses, but for you, it might be going to a community college and learning more about business, or taking event planning courses, or maybe you want to be a photographer. So you may take photography courses somewhere, or let's say if you're thinking about being a coach, you might sign up for a program to learn more about coaching. And just because you sign up for these different courses, it doesn't mean that this is going to be your thing. It doesn't mean like, okay, I've decided that this is my passion and this is what I want to do. What it does is it opens your mind to different things to consider. And maybe you might find that you don't necessarily want to be an event planner or a photographer, but what you like about it is maybe, just the business side of photography, or being a photographer's assistant, or maybe you really like the styling, but not the photography itself. But just taking these courses will allow you to figure out what specifically lights your fire. Okay. Another thing that I recommend is joining networking groups. One of my New Year's resolutions was to do this, because I can't tell you like how important it is to connect with like-minded people. So if you have a general idea of what you like, look for specific networking groups within the field you're trying to like connect with, right? Like if it's photography, a photography group, an event planning group, go there. If it's just, you love arts and culture, do that. Like whatever it is, there is, trust me, a group out there. You can look on Facebook to find like virtual groups. You can look on places like meetup.com. Yeah, Meetup. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing the hookup site, but not hookup site, but dating site. But I believe it's meetup.com, where you can find networking groups within your area, and there's other places too. But go try things out. You might have to go to 2 or 3 before you find like your people, right? Like people you really gel with. But it's important to do that. And if you're not sure at all like what you want to do, go to some of the broader networking groups. Like, we have something in DC, I think it's called like Creative Mornings or something like that. And so you're going to have people from all different backgrounds there. So at least it gets you, even if you go to something that's a little bit more broad, you're at least connecting and meeting other people. And then you can talk to them and they might have suggestions of what you can do. Or, you just don't know where that might take you. If, let's say, maybe you want to travel, right? They might have suggestions at this general group of like maybe some travel groups in the area you should consider, or people that you need to connect with. So just find a way to network with people. And then volunteering. Volunteering is also a great way. I have a lot of friends that have volunteered over the holidays for different places or for sports team or whatever it is that was their jam. But by volunteering, you also get to meet people, and it's like almost twofold. You're getting to help a group of people because usually you're volunteering to like help out at an event, and then so you're helping a group of people, but then you're also networking with other people, not only volunteers but the people that you're helping, and those people might be able to counsel you or give you advice or inspire you. So the point here is to go out and try new things. Okay. So the next thing I just want to talk about is analyze what you're currently doing. So, for example, take a look at your hobbies. Like maybe you are already doing like going out and networking, or a part of a sports team, or part of a, initiative, or whatever it might be. Maybe you're into politics or whatever, and you go to, different soirees or whatever through the year. Like take a look at what your hobbies are and really dissect and figure out why you do them. What is it about it? Do you like meeting the people? Is it really just the topic? What about the topic do you like? Like, let's say if it is something political, like maybe, are you interested in running for office? Or like, maybe even, your HOA, like maybe you are the type that is great at being the president of something, or maybe the secretary. Like, do you like organizing things? Like, why are you doing the things you do in your fringe hours? And when I say your fringe hours, what I mean by that is the hours that you're not working. So you might be a 9 to 5er, corporate person, or you might have your own business. But when you stop doing whatever it is you're working on, 9 to 5, what are you doing and why are you doing it? Because you could just be at home watching TV, watching Netflix, and not doing anything. And maybe that's what you're doing, right? But yeah, a lot of people are doing other things. So just try to figure out like why you're doing it, and maybe see if that might be connected to something you might be passionate about, you know? So, and then just hobbies, just looking at what you're doing in your off hours in general, what you find. Are you organizing things? Are you helping people? Like, what are you doing? Just take a look at that. What do you do for fun? So you might not have like necessarily a hobby, but maybe you just do something for fun. Like maybe it's therapeutic to you to walk around the block and pick up trash because you just love doing it and your neighborhood looks beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. People have all kind of, different types of things that they just do for fun, be it go to the movies or go to museums or travel, and where are they traveling to? Do you love traveling overseas or within the US? Like just take a look at your life and try to determine like what are you doing for fun? And why do you do that? And if that could be tied to your passion. And then, what do you nerd out about? When you're in a conversation with your friends or family, what do they usually say? Like, okay, we have enough. Like things that you can't shut up about. You know, is it like your favorite football team? Is it about art? Is it about, the new phone you just bought and you just love technology? Like, what is it that you can talk about for hours? Usually that's linked to your passion. Like for me, it's business stuff, blogging. I could talk for hours and hours. Like what people should think about for photography, like anything related to blogging, business, um, crafting, putting their passion online. Like I can literally talk to you all day about it. I love it, right? Um, okay, so next thing is like determine what you like or dislike about your job. So, if you do have a 9 to 5 or entrepreneur or whatever, really look at what do you love about it and what you dislike about it. And even though I say dislike, it doesn't mean you don't want to work where you want to work, but it just gives you an idea of the things you don't like. Like some people like the administrative part of the job and some people don't. It kind of lets you know where you stand. So just kind of take a look at that too, because that might give you a window into things that you like. And then just ask other people, what are you good at, right? Because sometimes they know better than you. Like, oh, I would definitely, you might be like, hey, what would you come to me for? And people would be like, oh, well, I talk to you when I need advice on X, or you're always doing this. So I assume that this is your passion and love. So ask people that are connected to you because more than likely they will be able to let you know, like, the things that you're doing often, because sometimes some things are just so innate to us that we don't really get like what we're good at or what we're known for. Every once in a while, I always ask people because it's good just to get an outside perspective. So, okay, so that goes. So, try new things. Those were some examples of analyzing what you're currently doing. And then I just want you guys to answer these questions, and they'll also be on the website, nishasnow.com/37. And you can always rewind or pause so you could just write your answers down to these. But I'm just going to read them off just so so your mind can start going. But take the time to really answer these. What are 3 times in your life you were most fulfilled? 3 times in your life where you were just like, this is amazing. What do you value? What do you really value? Write that down. What do you want? Is it independence? Is it creativity? What is it that you value? You know, um, what did you love doing as a kid? Everybody loved doing something. It may or may not be connected to your passion, but more than likely it is. What was it? And it might not be specifically what you love, but it'll be connected usually in some way. And what would your 10-year-old self be disappointed at if they looked at you as an adult? And that's so weird. And maybe nothing. But if your 10-year-old self met you, would your 10-year-old self say, wow, this is exactly who I thought I would be? Or would your 10-year-old self say, like, what happened? And why or why not? Because it could be a good or bad thing, because our 10-year-old selves were a little wonky. But it's just interesting just to think about the answer to that. And if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do? Because a lot of times, maybe we think, especially like me in the art field and design field, there is money in that, but there is this like thing too, like people don't think there's money in it. So a lot of times they're like, no, I need to do a more traditional job because I can't make money as a graphic designer. But like, if you could take away money and you could do anything you wanted and you had to do something, not just lay around, what would that be and why? Next question is, what makes you forget about time, food, and bathroom breaks? That sounds, I know, absolutely crazy, but what is it? It's like for me, I can sit here and do podcasts and edit videos and do that for hours. And sometimes I will literally have to be like, oh my God, I need to eat because I'm so much fun doing it. Like I just enjoy like being on my computer, editing and putting out stuff. It fulfills me. I love it. But what is that for you? You know, what is it that you do where you're like, "Oh my God, 4 hours have gone by." Okay? Besides watching TV. And last question is, what do you want your legacy to be? You know, if you knew like you were going to pass away in a year, or even let's not go that morbid. Let's say you're going to live until 100, 120. But whenever you pass away, what do you want to be known for? What do you want people to say about you? What impact in this world, in this universe, do you want to have? All right? So just answer those questions, write them down, like literally go rewind or go to the show notes for this page, nashasnow.com/37, and write the answers down to these. Figure out what that is. All right, so let me wrap up here. After you have taken the time to answer those questions, analyze what you're currently doing, and discover like maybe what new things you might want to try, I want you to take 4 action steps. I want you to develop a life purpose statement, like a statement, just one sentence, like what your life purpose is or you want it to be. What does that statement look like? All right. I also want you to create a vision board. You could do this virtually, or you could do it on a poster board, or you could do it in a journal. But what I want you to do is get images, text, whatever it is, however you want to work. It doesn't have to be beautiful and look gorgeous, but I just want you to put together a vision board that reflects what you like to do or what excites you, so you could see it all together. And virtually, best place to do that to me is Pinterest. It doesn't have to be Pinterest, it could be Trello or something like that. But with Pinterest, you could even do private boards so people don't have to see it, and maybe just pin different things that you like that makes you happy. I do recommend doing something like hard copy, like in a poster board or in a journal. I don't know. It's just something nice about something physical, but do that. Next is go on an adventure. Just do something you've always wanted to do, but just didn't do because you're like, oh, it costs too much. I don't have time. Whatever it is, just do it right now, today. Do it. Book your flight. Buy your ticket to the museum. Let's say it's a museum you always wanted to go to. Let's say you live in the suburbs and you haven't been downtown of whatever city you've lived in forever. Do it. If it's a restaurant that you always wanted to go to, do it. If it's a class you always wanted to take, just do it. Do me a favor today. Do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Do it. And then last but not least, in a journal, track what makes you happy, or even if it's a piece of scrap paper, whatever it is. Every time, like for the rest of this year, if you find yourself smiling like crazy or laughing or just happy, write down just quickly anywhere you can. Write down what it is, but then remember, like when you get home, to put it in the journal or whatever so you can see all the times that you've been happy. So develop a purpose statement, create a vision board, go on an adventure, and track what makes you happy. And then I'll end with this just saying, remember, I want you to remember it's okay to be multi-passionate and to align your goals with a purpose and passion. Okay. So what I mean by that is okay to be multi-passionate, meaning I don't want to put anybody in a box. We all love to do multiple things. And so you don't have to be stuck on one thing. And I am a great example of that, because if you catch me on Instagram, I got at @NashasNow, at FFT_official, at Tall Looks Pics, and at Creative Route. And each one of those Instagram accounts reflects a little like a different part of my life or different things that I love, right? I am truly a multi-passionate person. So I want to say, know that choosing what your passion is and your purpose isn't saying you only can love one thing. And then the last part of that, what I said is align your goals with a purpose and passion. Like once you figure out kind of what you think your passion is, when you set those goals and create an action plan, it should somehow tie back to that purpose and passion that you've decided on. All right. And most importantly, I'll say follow your heart and your gut. My gut has never led me astray. Like if I feel in my gut that something is wrong or if I should try something, even if it seems absolutely crazy, things tend to work out. All right. So that's all I've got, folks. Thank you for taking this 30 minutes. I thought it was only going to be 15, but y'all know I like to talk, to listen to me. And if you've made it this far, thank you. And as always, please subscribe to the podcast. You can go to nashesnow.com/iTunes and it'll take you right to the iTunes page. If you're on the phone or the desktop, please subscribe and also rate it. That really, really helps me. If you're Stitcher, nashesnow.com/Stitcher. YouTube, just search my name. Please subscribe to my channel. And definitely comment. When you guys comment on anything that I put out, it really makes me feel great. So interact with me. Tell me what you like and don't like. I really, I love people and I love, just, I don't know, that ongoing communication with folks. So definitely connect with me, subscribe, share, all that helps. I'm really trying to put myself out there. Sometimes I really just, I get so focused on creating the content, I forget to promote myself. So if you can help me promote myself, that would be amazeballs. But anyway, I'll end with that. The Life Cleanse Journal is coming soon. I just had to redo the intro today, and I'm hoping to send my stuff off to the printers to get a mock-up of how it's going to look so I can have it ready by the end of this year. Hopefully, I'm really excited. But anyway, you can find more details about that on my website. Thanks again for listening in and have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving and have a great morning, noon, or night.